Do you watch our videos and think to yourself, how or why in the world do you have so many screens? You may even be one of many of our subscribers who have posted in our comments about this very question. Or maybe you just have your own theories about it. Whatever the case may be, in today's video, I'll be going through why we use multiple screens, and I'll even walk you through my own personal setup here at Axia Futures. So let's get straight into it. Here at Axia Futures, traders are constantly making groundbreaking improvements, developments, and of course, long-standing affluent careers with the help of this 8-screen setup. And today I'm going to be sharing the inside scoop as to why we are so screen obsessed. But why am I making this video in the first place on how many screens we use here at Axia, right? Well, for a number of reasons. Primarily, I've seen quite a few comments and questions on our channel about why we use so many monitors, but I've also been asked by a lot of family and friends, and it basically just got me thinking back to when I started here at Axia Futures and even before that. Because before joining the floor here at Axia, my home setup was 2 or 3 monitors at the max, which included my laptop. Nothing crazy, but for me, it was just about the workflow. And quite honestly, looking back now, I never really utilized that space efficiently anyway. I remember distinctly when I first got here and I got started with this precise workstation, to be exact, I felt almost quite intimidated. I mean, who needs this many screens really? I remember saying to myself. But I recall, one of the other traders here that I was talking to at the time said to me, don't worry, because once you learn how to use the space efficiently, it's going to very quickly fill up, and benefits of having this many screens is going to become very evident. And of course, he was absolutely spot on. Now, before I get into the benefits of having this much screen real estate as our workstations have here at Axia, let me first just make a few very important clarifications. Firstly, there is no right or wrong number rooted to this question as to how many you should have. And if you're wondering what you should be using and whether this is the hindrance that is stopping you from making more money in trading, well, it's not. The answer simply comes down to whatever is right for you, your trading style, and what kind of trader you actually are. It's a pretty subjective matter actually in that case. But this question and topic, of course, about the number of screens for a professional trader has always been a spotlight type question, due to the fact that there are many traders or trader gurus, that I like to call them, on YouTube and the like, that have an X number of screens just because it looks impressive. I mean, the more screens they have, the more money they make, and thus more successful of a trader they really are, or at least seem to be, right? Anyway, of course, not all of them, but you get the idea. So this video isn't about how many screens you should have, or if it will make you an even better trader or not, because it won't. You are what makes you a better trader, not the tools that you use. The tools are only there to help and aid us in sharpening those skills that we are learning and developing as traders. Now, let's dive into why multiple screens are essential for professional trading, and why is it a standard here on our trading floors, and not only in Axia Futures Cyprus, but globally. For us, it's about visibility, efficiency, and customization. Imagine having all the information that you need right at your fingertips, allowing you to make split-second decisions with confidence and when it matters. And this is what it really boils down to for us. As I already mentioned, when I first started using these 8 screens, it did feel a bit overwhelming. But as I got accustomed to the setup, I very quickly realized just how powerful it is and why all of our elite traders, down to the juniors, use this setup. The increased visibility and ability to customize my workspace has really transformed my trading experience and journey. I'll get into showing you my particular workspace in more detail very shortly. But at the end of the day, it is all about having each screen giving us specific information that we require at a split-second glance to be able to execute to our maximum potential, rather than having to, of course, click tabs to change what is on a particular monitor, or even worse, missing a whole chunk of information just because it isn't in our peripherals or our peripheral vision. In short, trading multiple markets as we do, we can't afford to miss any bits of vital information because we cannot see it at the time that we may need it. And as, of course, traders, we are here to develop and fine-tune what we're seeing ahead of us to improve our overall picture of what we need to see, to then know how and when to best execute. So let me just answer a few of these common questions that we seem to find a lot. And that is, many online are always throwing comments and posts about, and even concerns about the practicality and cost and complexity of using 3+ screens, at times adding unnecessary noise Some even go out and say that it can cause analysis paralysis, which I'm sure is a term you've all heard. Now, I can agree to this on some points, and from our point of view, if 2 or 3 screens work for you, great. That is what ultimately matters. But in general, as someone's knowledge and experience grows and develops, they gain valuable insights to get integrated with many permutations over time. Therefore, there is no more paralysis, only information processing. Then at this point, a desk with 6 screens can become much more efficient. Now, another common theme of posts that I've come across in the past, and of course in the making of this video, is that people claim to be or know an ultra successful trader who can trade profitably, multi-six figures off of 1 screen or even just a phone. Now, while there may be the one-off unicorn person that may be able to manage that, which by the way certainly isn't going to be an intraday trader, futures trader, this is certainly not the case for the vast majority of successful, profitable and professional futures traders. Especially when I hear that these so-called trading gurus do so at the beach, sipping, Muay Thai cocktail and, getting their tan on after making tens of thousands after a couple of clicks on their phone, and they're done for the week. With the time I have spent here so far, Axia, I quickly have come to the realization that in order to perform to one's maximum potential, one must have the right mindset, the professional space, tools, and of course, attitude, as well as of course the time to dedicate to making this career a matter of longevity. And just as an example, here at Axia, each trader has the freedom to also customize their workstation to suit their own trading style and preferences, whether it's using only the 4 screens or 6 or the full 8, or even adding an extra screen on the side. The goal is the same, and that is to optimize their workflow and productivity. Now, let's move over to my setup here that I've got beside me, and I'll show you how I utilize my space for that effectiveness, flexibility, customization, and of course efficiency. Now, of course, it's going to be a little bit hard for you to see, so each screen from this angle, but I will be overlaying some B-roll here as well. But this is my setup. And as you can see, I have my charting platform on the top row of my actual workstation. And this is where I'm analyzing and reviewing the market landscape with various different time frames, different markets, and of course, different tools. This gives me my ultimate view of the markets to aid in my execution. Now, on this screen on the top left alternates between, where I'm actually looking at a footprint or specific profiles like cash profiles only. But when I'm not using that, I've also got my tweet deck on this actual screen as well throughout the majority of the day, just so I can keep an eye on what is going, what's coming out from various sources of market analysts and, sources and the like. Now, on the bottom row, especially in the 2 center ones here, as you can see, I have my ladders, and of course, which are so crucial to my execution and also seeing price action develop, etc. To the left is the general internet space monitor screen, and this is a space that I use for my general emails, my debriefs, my notes. And finally, should I say, to the right here, I have my news source. And believe me, I could very easily do with another 2 monitors at least, but I don't want to jump the gun just yet. So let's talk about specifically the practical benefits of my multi-screen setup. With the 8 screens that you can see here, I can monitor the various markets, analyze my charts, review news and data sources, and execute trades simultaneously, flawlessly, and with total minimum effort, other than of course a shift in my eyesight and focus. Instead of the alternate, which would mean opening up another tab or window, forgetting what's where and the time it takes to do that, especially when time is of course such a factor. It's like having a bird's eye view of the entire trading landscape that I require, right? That's the way I like to see it. Now, moving on, flexibility is also key when it comes to trading setups. That's why when I first started here, I was encouraged to experiment with different configurations until I found what worked best for me. From arranging charts to a grid-like fashion, right? Or splitting screens, or stacking them vertically, showing various time frames to various markets, and so much more. Speaking from my own personal experience, my setup here has evolved over time since I started, of course, and I'm sure it will keep evolving. But at first I was of course unsure where to put where, what to put where, should I say. Where do my eyes naturally flow? That was one of the toughest parts at the beginning. And it has now of course been fine-tuned to maximize that efficiency and productivity. It's all about finding what works best for you ultimately and adapting as needed. And right now, my eyes know exactly where to look and when. As for efficiency, of course, with the 8 screens, I can seamlessly navigate between charts, news sources, ladders, etc. That, so to make sure that I never miss a beat. And it's all about optimizing that workflow and staying one step ahead at all times. So in conclusion, the power of multiple screens in professional training setups cannot be ignored from my opinion. From increased visibility to enhanced efficiency, the benefits are substantially clear. But of course, again, this is a subjective matter, and it will entirely depend on what works best for you and your trading style. Maybe you only swing trade with longer time frames, or you focus on just one market at a time. Then 8 screens might just be too much for you. But for us here at Axia Futures, as you can see, there is a rhyme and a reason. So if you're still on the fence about whether you need 2, 4, 6 screens or more, I encourage you to first figure out what you need, depending on your trading style. And then look, and this is the most important part, look at how you can really increase your productivity and efficiency. Just by focusing on those points, you might be surprised by the results. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and of course this behind the scenes perspective as always. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more. And more importantly, hit that notification button to always be updated when we have new and fresh content ready for you. And as well as adding your comments down below, why not share your trading setups on Twitter and Instagram and tag us in them so we can check them out. Here's our social media handles if you haven't added us already. We're always happy to lend a helping hand or an ear and our perspective and see how our communities are progressing. Also, if you want to learn more about how you can take your training to the next level, hit the link down in the description box to join our live workshop and start your trading journey to mastery. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.